Libra, welcome to your New Year's reading. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the year ahead. Now, keep in mind, these are general readings and may not resonate for everyone. So make sure to check out your other placements because you could have messages in those readings as well, which would allow for a more full picture. Okay, my friends, let's get started and see what is the energy around Libra for the year ahead. What is the energy around Libra for the year ahead? Oh, we got two cards flipped over there. Grab those. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Bottom of the deck is the sun. I love this sun energy for you, Libra. Really illuminating things. We see chameleon. Gemini got the chameleon card. We see chameleon, direction, stuck, and holiday. Holiday showed up for Aquarius. Isn't that interesting? Okay, now let's have a look at this here, Libra. So that chameleon energy shows me that you have not necessarily been authentic, but are probably moving into a more authentic space in 2023. I feel like you're shifting your direction because you feel stuck. You're moving out of stuck energy. You're not wanting to stay there. You're looking for a new direction, one where you feel like you can be authentic. And I feel like something around the holiday season has brought this up for you. We're in a holiday season right now. Most of December feels like a holiday, doesn't it? In some ways, with Christmas and then preparing for New Year's and all of that, it can really bring up a lot of emotions, right? The holidays aren't always happy for everybody, right? And I feel like something happened over this holiday for you, Libra, that illuminated that you need to shift directions because right now you feel stuck being inauthentic. You feel stuck matching energies with, it almost feels like you don't want to do that anymore. You're not wanting to go back to sort of fitting into something by force. You know, it's interesting. It's like the holidays have really shone a light on this for you in some way. Either something happened during the holidays, or you were very reflective during the holidays, or something has really shown you through your experience recently. I think that's why we're seeing that holiday card, is it's recent. It's very recent, and it feels like you're like, no more. I can't go into 2023 feeling like I'm constantly having to match energy that's not authentic for me. You're looking for a new direction because you feel stuck. You want to unstuck this. Another sign got this stuck card. I can't remember which one it was, but it's like you're noticing that even things in your day-to-day feel like they're not moving. Like the direction is scattered. The energy is scattered. There's no authentic expression happening right now. It's almost like there's been a shutdown because of a stuck momentum. It's not moving. But seeing the sun on the bottom of the deck tells me that there has been a realization, or there will be a realization. This is illuminating a new direction. This is illuminating how to become unstuck. This is illuminating how to not match energy that you don't feel resonates for you authentically anymore. It's like you don't want to go back to that feeling. Something shifted for you. You know, for some of you, you may have taken a holiday and been like, you know, received that clarity while you were on holiday and then came back and said, I'm not going to live my life like this anymore. I'm changing the direction. I feel stuck. I'm changing the direction here. So that is the overall theme of, the energy of your year ahead is working on shifting that direction, feeling empowered to unstuck yourself and to move through this in a way that feels authentic to you, where you don't feel like you're a chameleon, where you don't feel like you have to match an energy to protect yourself. When you think about why a chameleon changes its colors to match its environment, It does that to protect. It does that to fit in. It does that to camouflage. It does that so that it can go about its business undetected and undisturbed. But it also has this impact as a metaphor for you when you receive this card that you're not being authentic. Well, so what if you show up on the leaves? There's no predator coming to take you and snatch you off that branch. This chameleon does have to worry about predators, but matching energy is a very chameleon-like thing where you sort of blend in with the environment so that no one can see the real you. And that may be protective, but it's also creating stuck energy where you feel like, where's the direction? Like, where am I going? What am I doing? And you've got card 26 and 27. I just noticed that. And so you've got two cards in a sequence in a very well shuffled deck, which tells me that you're moving on this. This is important. This is something that you're taking action on. You really want to find a new direction for yourself that feels authentic, and it sort of brings you back to life with that sun energy. Really interesting beginning to your reading here, Libra. Let's see what the tarot cards are going to reveal. Yeah, there's the Five of Wands. So you're in a conflict. You're in a state of conflict. In your immediate environment is full of conflict, or your immediate surroundings, your immediate sort of circle. There's some conflict. It feels like a clash of egos with the Five of Wands. It feels like people fighting to get their point across, people fighting for a certain direction that's in opposition of the direction of the other person. Like, it's stuck, and you want to level up. You want to level out of this. These wands, I mean, it's conflict when you see this Five of Wands. And it's ego conflict. It's people not seeing eye to eye and then having a battle over who's right and who's wrong, and whose direction is going to win, you know. And then we see the Star card, which is very healing. And I feel like that's you saying, I'm making a wish up on a star here that I will find the direction that releases me from feeling stuck in this constant battle where I have to sort of either adapt and lose myself or be myself and completely be stuck in conflict. Libra, this is very interesting. You are working on healing this. You are working on bringing freedom to yourself. You're looking at finding a balance here so that you don't feel so stuck between a lack of authenticity that makes you feel like you're just sort of blending into the situation that doesn't mean something to you. Like you're taking on a form to just allow things to keep moving, but they're not moving. They're stuck now. Now things aren't even moving forward. So it's like if you're authentic, you get caught in this stuck or this battle. If you're not authentic, you feel stuck. So you've got to find a balance here, or you've got to change your environment completely where you're not surrounded by that same sort of energy that forces this either I'll just be like them or I'll fight to be like myself. It's interesting. There's a bit of adaptability here, flexibility, but there's also this another two fives. You've got this energy here where every conversation feels defeating. Every moment feels like a conflict. And you just want some peace here. You want to feel free of this. You want a new direction. And I feel like something over the holidays really brought this into clarity for you. That holiday card is coming up for a reason. Something snapped into place over the holidays and you were like, yeah, I can't keep going like this. Something has to change. I can't keep going in this direction where I'm either pretending I'm someone I'm not or fighting all day. You know what I mean? That's not sustainable, and you feel that. I think you feel that lack of sustainability. There is another clue here. So we see the Lovers and the Knight of Pentacles. So this is definitely something that's in your space on a day-to-day basis. This is something that could involve a partner. where you just want to be authentic. You just want to be yourself and have things move that way. Like, I feel like for someone listening right now, this is a reading that is sort of confirming to you that it's very important that you be authentic, that you can't lose who you are here. You can't lose who you are in this just because there's always arguing and battles for who's right, who's wrong. It's almost like this night comes in to say, can we just focus on what's happening today? Can we focus on what we need to accomplish today? And really be grounded and determined to find that direction as we go. It's interesting seeing that Knight of Pentacles, because I feel like that also gives us a clue that this is happening at home. This is happening at work, at home, within a friend group. This is happening in your immediate circle. This isn't some philosophical sort of who am I question floating out in the universe. This is happening right in your face all day long, at work, at home, in a relationship, with a boss maybe. It feels more personal than that, but wherever this is happening, the key is I want to be authentic. I don't want to pretend to be someone I'm not, just to avoid conflict and clashes of ego. But at the same time, you don't also want to spend your whole day having conflicts and clashes of ego. So it's interesting. The bottom of the deck is the Hermit. And that tells me you're reflecting on this. You're trying to look at this from a perspective that will bring you to a new direction, because you want a new direction and you need a new direction. What's happening in this reading is not sustainable. And the Hermit tells me that this is a solution that you're going to come up with for yourself. This isn't something that you're going to discover through chatting with your girlfriends or talking to whoever the other person is in this dynamic or the other people in this dynamic. This is you coming to terms with something on your own terms. And that's something else the Knight of Pentacles is giving me right now, is this idea of you finding grounding in your current situation that allows you to get unstuck and be yourself. And that might mean a change of environment for some of you. We're going to clarify. I'm curious. I'm surprised I haven't seen the Chariot. I feel like that is going to be showing up as clarification somewhere. But the Lovers does indicate needing to make a choice. You have to make a choice about where you feel authentic and where you don't, and who you feel authentic with and who you don't. And where there's all this battle and need for change. There's a need for change when we see all these fives. The Five of Wands is being clarified by that Page of Pentacles. So that says to me that there is some new beginning that is necessary where you can be yourself and you can express yourself through your personality and your day-to-day behaviors and still feel like you're you, without constantly having to battle it out with someone or a group of people. Eight of Swords, very concerned about the direction and the outcome of where this is taking you. It's a very healing energy, the Star card, but what comes right before the Star is the Tower. And so sometimes when we see the Star card, we, feel like, oh, I'm getting my wish, but at what cost? I feel like that's the question you're asking yourself. At what cost do I keep shifting my direction? Perhaps there's something here you're afraid of the outcome of at what cost. The answer to that might be something that brings up some anxiety or fear for you when you think about, changing things up. You might be like, but that's going to impact this area, and I'm afraid to impact that area. There's a fear and anxiety about the outcome in that Eight of Swords. You're worrying about the outcome instead of trusting maybe that you've got this. Yeah, Eight of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, and Seven of Wands. So whatever's going on that's making you feel stuck, it feels like it's a lot of work for you to defend yourself all day long. And it's starting to make you feel worn out. And now you might start to feel like you have to sort of be involved in other people's stuff. So sometimes seeing the Queen of Pentacles in reverse brings out this message of sort of like an overbearing maternal figure that needs things to be under her control, or else she feels like she can't sort of get her day managed. When the Queen of Pentacles is upright, she's very self-reliant, and she's grounded and secure and trusts and feels very much like a nurturer. Whereas sometimes when we see the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, sometimes the idea of being like a helicopter parent, someone who's maybe a micromanager, comes up, where it's like you feel like because you're stuck and you're not sure what the direction is and you're worrying about the outcome, you might feel like you have to try to control every single thing about the day, because that's what we do when we don't feel like we're in control. We feel like we have to take control of other things. And so I feel like you're putting in a lot of work and effort to defend yourself and to put in, you've almost got this micromanagement lens here. Even though this Eight of Pentacles suggests that you're honing your craft, I think you're honing this defense too much. You're getting very good at defending yourself. You've had practice, I think. I think you've had enough practice. You maybe have been feeling like this for a while, so you've got a lot of practice at defending yourself. But the thing about defending yourself means that you're on the defensive. You're on the defensive. You feel guarded. And you're getting really good at that. You're ready. You've got 2 8s. Sorry, this is a 7. You got the 8 of Pentacles and the 8 of Swords. So you're getting very good at these habits of over worrying, over micromanaging things in your environment, needing to be the one in control of everything, or else you feel like everything's out of control. And you're getting really good at defending yourself, but this is keeping you in a defensive mode instead of being open and feeling unstuck and feeling like you can just be authentic. You're constantly on the defense. You're on the defensive a lot, Libra, because you feel like you can't control your environment. But perhaps you can't control your environment, right? Like perhaps it's not all up to you. You know, that's sort of what's coming through for me here. Now, when I look at the Lover's card, which is really about being authentic and being open and vulnerable and choosing things that allow you to feel that way, and choosing relationships, partners, experiences, work environments, there's the Fool in reverse coming through that. So that tells me that there's a fear here of really opening up. I feel like you've been in this mode for a while, and it's bringing in now this fear where you're like, I can't open up to this person. They'll take advantage of my vulnerabilities, and they could try and ruin me. You know, it's almost one of those kind of feelings where it's like you're not feeling like you can really be yourself, because someone could come in and try to do something harmful to you. And I feel like that's coming because you're so used to overthinking and defending yourself. So you've gotten very good at making that your focus. And so now the idea of a new beginning, albeit authentic or not, I feel is freaked you out. So you feel really stuck. Like you feel really stuck. You feel too stuck to take a leap of faith, but too stuck to be where you are now and be authentic. Well, it's a very sticky reading for you this week. For this year ahead, this is going to be your journey for the year, is to find the grounding to be secure, safe, authentic, and free. Where you feel the freedom. You don't feel stuck. You feel like you have freedom and direction, and you don't have to match energy to receive validation. You can offer yourself that validation. You don't have to look to someone who's just going to have a fight with you for validation. That's not the person who's going to validate you, Libra. Let me just say that. Someone who has expressed themselves through the 5 of Swords and the 5 of Wands, they're not going to be the person to say anything validating to you, because they're looking at the situation like they have to be right, and they're trying to prove that they're right. And so that automatically puts you in a defensive position. So don't go to that person for validation. That might be a big lesson in this reading for you, that that's not going to be the person that validates you. That's going to be the person that challenges you. And I don't think you need any more challenge right now. You need to find a way to validate yourself so that you don't look for validation from people that are needing their own personal validation. You know what I mean? Like, it almost seems like the person you're turning to in the hopes of getting validation, they don't feel validated either. That's why they're arguing and being defensive and wanting to sort of prove their point all the time. When someone is always trying to prove their point, it usually means that they don't feel validated either. You know what I mean? It's almost like you've got two people in the same boat here trying to sort of, like, forgive me, Libra, but it almost feels like a lot of blame is going on here. Like, well, it's them, they're the ones causing this problem. When really I feel like it's that within ourselves, something's stuck. And it's stuck on defensiveness. It's stuck on needing to control things. It's almost like you're seeing the Hermit here because this is your year to figure out why you have those feelings inside. And trust me, it's not because of this one person. This person is reflecting back at you what you need to see in your experience to sort of understand it on a deeper level. But, you know, I sometimes hear people say, well, if this person would only be like this, then this wouldn't be an issue. And it's sort of like, well, then there'd just be someone else in your life doing this, reflecting back at you, because ultimately what's going on in the external is a reflection of what's going on within. And so if you're seeing something in your life that's causing a lot of challenges and creating you to feel stuck, and it's not validating you, that's because there's something within you needing to validate yourself. There's something within you that needs to be released so it's not so stuck. You know, it's interesting. Let's clarify that Knight of Pentacles, who wants you to stay grounded in the present. There's something to be learned from your very immediate circumstances here, Libra. We see the Hierophant, Three of Cups, and the King of Pentacles. Isn't that interesting? The Hierophant and the King are both in reverse. So that tells me that there is a lack of stability, a lack of security. Something doesn't feel permanent anymore. It feels like you're about to reject a tradition and then have a celebration. Like, it's almost like you're about to say, enough is enough. I am breaking this tradition where I am matching energy, and I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to step away from something that might be traditional for me, or a convention, or a pattern, a habit. And it's almost like you're going to go the route of celebrating yourself. Now, seeing the King of Pentacles tells me in reverse that you just don't feel like this is sustainable. And it's not. It doesn't feel sustainable to me either. It feels like you're like, a new direction has to be found. And I can't keep moving forward like this anymore. And you're going to find that direction within yourself. I feel like that's where it's going to come from. It's going to come from within you. It's not going to come from a teacher or a counselor. It's not going to come from whoever's driving you nuts over here. And it's going to come from you realizing it for yourself, where you feel stuck within and where movement needs to happen. You know what I mean? And it's interesting because on the bottom of the deck, we see the Wheel of Fortune. And I can't help but think that that is a sign that things are going to start moving again. They're not going to stay stuck forever. They will start moving again. And it feels to me like, yeah, you know, as I sort of just peek through the deck, I really feel like you're going to have to build a new foundation here. One that includes your authenticity and sort of allows you to not feel like you have to be defensive all the time, where you can be at peace in your day-to-day. Now, let's pull an oracle card here for you, Libra. I've been pulling one of these cards for every sign just to see what the sort of the energy around that year ahead looks like for you. What are you going to be working on? What are you going to be processing? Everyone's been getting really interesting messages. Okay, so for Libra, what is the energy for Libra suggesting here? Oh, you got card 1. This is really a very big beginning for you. This is the magnetism of Eros. I'm going to read it for you from the guidebook. I've been doing that for everyone. The way Alana has written these messages is just so beautiful. Okay, so there's your card. Very red, very root focused. It says here, trust in what your heart yearns for without concern about how it will manifest. So don't be concerned about the outcomes. Forget about the how. Just focus on the what and the why. That will bring you out of that stuck feeling. Take step towards what moves your heart. Reach out for what your soul wants and needs. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. Like we said, for only then can you be truly held. Oh, that's beautiful. Allow yourself to be vulnerable, for only then can you truly be held. And I almost feel like that's what you're desiring. You're desiring someone to hold you and to validate you and to see you. But you have to let these defenses down first, Libra. It says here, that which appears out of reach or unavailable to you is closer than you realize. This is very interesting. So on a spiritual level, this card is sort of bringing you to a place where it's guiding you to affirm. It's an affirmation, okay? It's guiding you to sort of see here that you can engage in negative behaviors in a misguided attempt to heal yourself or make you feel better. But despite your that sort of negative behavior, your best intentions to be positive is always something that you're trying to be fully heard. You're always trying to have your positive intentions be fully heard. And sometimes you might find yourself sort of being defeated, or even doing things like energy matching, where you just go along with something because you don't think that, what you desire is actually possible. So you resort to more destructive sort of tendencies, to be really guarded, to worry, to sort of be very defensive and not allow people to see the real you. Oh, it's so interesting. Until that story is heard, we cannot let go, and we remain stuck in a negative loop. It's interesting, very interesting. When we receive this card, it's sort of that we are ready to embrace our journey, an affirmation of life, which is opposite to the destructive drive that can sometimes be the thing that's undermining us behind the scenes. You've got some shadow work to do this year, Libra. You've got some shadow work to do here so that you can embrace life again, including all your experiences. You'll be able to handle all of them better. You'll feel better handling all of them if you can somehow resolve those negative drives within you and in your environment that are sort of pushing you into that defensive place instead of a place of vulnerability and openness. There's a message here from this oracle that life has particular gifts to share with you. And there is this promise of a very soulful connection in your life where you can be your true self and feel desired and loved and validated and heard and seen. And you can be vulnerable. It's very interesting. You're very, very much encouraged here to explore new pathways, especially if you feel stuck in your current one and that you're unable to be your authentic self. You're really being guided here to trust where your heart is leading you without worrying how it's all going to work out. Just trusting that it will work out, because it can't not work out when you're following your authenticity and being vulnerable enough to sort of be yourself. It's a very interesting message guiding you here, Libra. I'm just going to place it right there so you can see it. I feel like you're spiraling. You're spiraling, you feel stuck, you're not sure. There's so many questions here, but trust that, seeing this message is one of being vulnerable. And that sometimes the only way out is in, Libra, going in and allowing others to go in and see you. You know, it's interesting. Okay, let's pull your final card of guidance for Libra. Opening up. Opening up. Oh, I love this card. You got pleasure. It's time to celebrate life, Libra. Celebrate life. Engage in your passions. What you seek is seeking you. Love with your whole being. Release control of others and be your own beloved. This reading makes me feel like you just need to fall in love with yourself as you are and be your authentic self, always trusting that if you are yourself and you are following what makes you feel alive, following that sort of vibe to celebrate life, that's this year for you, Libra. I really feel like you're doing an immense amount of shadow work this year, but it's going to bring you to a rebirth. You're going to be reborn, and you're going to surrender all of these worries and fears that you're holding on to, this defensiveness, this lack of confidence that you can celebrate life and be yourself. This is a healing journey for you in 2023, Libra. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me for this reading. And I'm sending you so much love and light. I look forward to reading for you again soon. And I'm sincerely and with so much positive intention wishing you a very happy 2023. Take care, my friends.